Hi, today we're drawing Winnie the Pooh. So grab a piece of paper and your favorite pencil and I'll see you in the art room. So today we are drawing Winnie the Pooh, and I have my good drawing paper over here on the right, and I have the copy of Winnie the Pooh that I have previously drawn. I'm just going to start the way I like to start, which is by gridding out my page. So I'm going to take a ruler and I'm going to go down vertically and horizontally until I make a 4-part grid. If you do not have a ruler, do not worry. You can take your paper and do this on your own. I'm also going to come over here to my Winnie the Pooh sketch that I design in Procreate. And I am going to grid out my Winnie the Pooh drawing. The good thing is you can choose where you want to grid out the Winnie the Pooh. I'm drawing Winnie the Pooh today because one of my students in my Saturday morning class asked to draw Winnie the Pooh. So if you have a drawing suggestion, please send it my way, info@futurepicassos.com, and I will draw it for you. So I grid it out so we're not making a little, when we go to transfer this to this, it's going to be an easy transfer, and we're going to copy it and we're going to look at the shapes, right? So we don't want a little tiny Winnie the Pooh over here. We want to kind of draw it to scale. So this is called scaling the drawing. So I also like to look at my drawing and I like to mask out my shapes. And if I look over here, I'm going to see lots of ovals and circles, ovals and circles. So basically I have I could make this one small thing. I have a oval circle situation going on over here. It's very easy drawing to draw. So we're going to start right down in here with the most important part, which is the circle right here, which is grounding our character, being Winnie the Pooh. And I'm going to make a big circle like this. So I'm going to go right into drawing Winnie the Pooh. And here's my grid. Here's the center of my page. The first mark that I'm going to make up here is I'm going to make a little mark right here. Now I'm just drawing with a regular number 2 pencil and an eraser. For those of you who draw with me all the time, I sometimes measure with my fingers. So my next mark is going to be over here, and my other mark is going to be over here. And the most important mark is going to be about 5 fingers down. It's going to be right about here. And this is going to come out. Now, so the beauty of watching this video here is you can pause and rewind. So the first mark I'm going to make is this big circle right here. It's kind of an oval circle, and it's going to look like this. And notice that I'm doing a thing called finding the shape. I'm not, painstakingly using my wrist. I'm using my whole entire arm, and I'm finding the shape. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be laying out Winnie the Pooh, and then we're going to go back in and we're going to finesse the lines. So our layout is going to kind of look like abstract. It's not going to have a face and it's not going to have eyes. It's going to be a little bit on the abstract side. Now, so here's this one shape. The next shape, I'm going to be putting this circle up here. And my first mark is going to be right here like this. And my second mark is going to be over here like this. And then my third mark is going to be up here like this. So in between these shapes right here, I'm going to make another oval circle, and it's going to be kind of tilted a little bit this way, right? So I'm going to take my my whole arm, and I'm going to make this circle like this. I find making circles and drawing in this way to be utterly meditative and very relaxing. It's not meant to look exactly like this to begin with, just so you know. So our next shape is going to come in here, and it's going to go down to right about here. And it's going to go over to right about here, and it's going to come up to right about here. And then this shape is going to be kind of a giant looking oval like this. Now, again, keep in mind that will probably fit in, you know, Winnie the Pooh's whole arm in here. So keep that in mind, right? So we have all kinds of stuff going on inside of this shape. Our next shape is going to start right about here. And it's going to come down to right about here. And it's going to end with a hand shape, which is also an oval. So this oval is going to look like this. So you're probably saying to yourself, why am I drawing all these ovals when I can go and get right into my drawing and just sketch it out? Because this is much easier. You want to lay out the whole thing so your drawing is kind of in a place of proportion, and then you want to spend some time looking at the positive and negative shapes around what you're drawing, and then you want to kind of put it into perspective. The next shape is going to be this fat kind of oval, short and fat, and it's going to be right in here like this, and it's going to be about this wide. And also, and it's going to come over a little bit like this. Keep in mind that the shapes that we make might not always be right, and they might have to move over, right? But that is okay. Like if I look at this right now, I can already say that this needs to move over a little bit. So I'm going to do that. I know a lot of times people make YouTube videos that are completely perfect. I like to keep in mind that things aren't always perfect. I do what you call draw through the form. So I'm just kind of showing you how I would sketch it out. And then I'm going to put an oval that goes in like this. So this is going to be his foot. So as you can already see, we are moving right along, like it's already kind of looking like something. And then the next shape is going to be his leg, and that is going to come out to about right here, and it's going to fit in here like this, and then it's going to come up like this. And so you can kind of put in these ear shapes over here if you'd like. They make things look a little bit more stylized for you. So you can see we have the beginnings of what looks like Winnie the Pooh. And then we can go back in. So if you want to pause and go and look at your shapes and kind of gauge. So as you get better at drawing, you can look at where the shapes line up and what they look like in order to make other shapes, and it really becomes helpful. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm not going to really erase that much, but I'm going to start to kind of work out this shape in here. So if I look over here, I'm going to notice that I'm going to have to move some things around, but that is okay. I'm going to start right about right here with my shoulder. And I know this shoulder comes up and this comes around. It almost looks like a bell. So after I draw, I go in with a liner pen and I line. So I'm not too worried about everything that I'm doing. So this comes down, meaning I clean up my lines. So the first shape that I see is looking a little bit like this. And you can see it right there. And so I kind of will go through the drawing. So the middle of my page is here. My arm is right about over here. My neck comes, so I'm actually going to move this over a little bit more You're like, oh, Miss Kathy, what are you doing to me? So my arm is over here like this. And then my neck is going to come out over here like this. And I am drawing a little light. And then it's going to come down and around. And up and around. So you can play with this later if you'd like, or, you know, as we're drawing it. I still feel like it's a process of sketching. And then my paw, my first arm, is going to come up so I am going to erase these squiggle lines because I know where I'm drawing. So I have a shape right here, like that. And then right in here, this is going to come around like that. And it's going to come up and around. And then the top part of it is going to go right in here like this. Right here is going to be the back side of his collar. And then his bell of an arm sleeve. Like that. So I chose a very easy Winnie the Pooh because I wanted him to be fun to draw. And I wanted people to have a good time. And we could kind of keep it soft. So moving down, and I kind of will erase as I go, just like this. So moving down his belly comes down. Lots of erasing and around. He's got a very large tummy, but remember, this is a journey, and if our shapes weren't right before, we're going to work on making them right now. Now I know where this placement goes, so I'm going to move it a little bit because I want to see. So my foot is going to go right in here. And then this line is going to come out like this. And then this is going to come over like that. And then inside here, we have an oval. And then we have a so I like to look at the lines that in the space around things and how they match up. So then we have that leg. Now, so in here, this comes down, and then there is this shirt that goes around and over, right? It's stretching over his little tummy, his big tummy, like that. And then this comes up. Like that. So, like I did on the other side, I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit because I know where things go. I can see it. This line is going to come down like this. and it's going to curl right about right there. And then this is going to come down like that. And then on the very end of his hand, he has a little paw. Like that. So I'm going to keep erasing this because I know where it goes. But right in here, I have a very important negative space. So that comes down like that. And this is the back side of his belly. Now his leg is going to start right about right here. And it's going to wrap around like this. And then his foot is going to come around like this. So what I like to say is that not always drawing is like going to the gym, right? And it's not always going to be completely perfect. And you might have to work at it a little bit to get things the way you want it to go, a lot of erasing. But with practice, we get better, right? It's like anything that we do. Piano, riding our bike, being a good friend, practicing good manners, being kind. So with drawing, we're looking at lines and how it feels to draw the lines and how our brains react to kind of a line movement. And I believe that it's all brain training that we're doing, right? And so here we have our other leg and our Winnie the Pooh belly. And you can put some lines in here like this for his face, for his the tightness of his shirt. So this is the easy part. We can start finessing the lines around his face. So up here, this line comes down and around like this, right? It comes, it indents and it goes down. And then over here, kind of the same thing, except it's going to go inside of his shirt. So this is going to go like this. So also keep in mind that it's easy to turn the page to make it easier. So I'm just going to kind of go like this to see where I want my indentation to go. So this goes around, and then this comes around down like this, and a little pointy on the top. And we're working in the shape of his face. So his little ear is going to go right in here, and it's going to be a little bit rounder, like that. And his other little ear is going to come up like this and go around like that. So some things are easier to draw than others, some things are harder, but it doesn't matter because it's all about practicing, right? practicing things that are hard, learning how to do things new. I've actually never drawn Winnie the Pooh before, and this is quite fun. Winnie the Pooh is very happy, right? So now we're ready to put our face on. Now, I'm not going to clean up everything because I'm going to do that later when I erase, but I am going to notice that if I put a line from the end of his paw to the middle of his head, from here to here, that's kind of the middle of my head, and I want things to be on this diagonal. And from right here to right here, like this, is kind of where I want my eyes to go, right? So right here at this middle line, or a little bit below it, I want to make a mark from here to here that looks like this. And that's going to be the top of his nose. And then right about right here and right about right here, which are midpoints in between this nose line, I'm going to make some ovals for my eyes. And they're little, right? He has little eyes. And then way up here, I'm going to make some eyebrows. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to make some eyebrows. And then right in here, I'm going to draw in my nose. And my nose is actually, it's a rounded triangle like that. And you can fill it in if you want. When we go to ink it, I will fill it in. And then his mouth is going to go from right here to right here. And that's going to look like this. And then it has a little, I'm actually going to move my, it's funny, like what his expression will be is how much the mouth kind of curves, but there's a little bit of a open mouth thing happening like this because he's smiling. So I am going to move this up a little bit on either side. So that looks like this. That looks like that. And so this is the point in the drawing where you can kind of go back and kind of do what you need to do to make things your own, tweak it in different spots that need to be tweaked. And then I am going to do my inking, and then I'm going to erase it, and you can see the finished product. You can also ink at home. So I like to ink using, you can use a Sharpie, you can use a Micron. These are calligraphy pens, but I like them because they're brush pens. I also have this very cool Micron pen. This is a thick Sharpie, and this is a fine point Sharpie, ultra fine point, which is pretty cool, like that. I'm going to ink using one of these brush pens. Not that one. I don't like. I'm going to use this one. I like this one a lot. And so I like to start using, I'm not erasing anything. I'm going to go in with this pen, and I like to start kind of in areas that are small, so I can get warmed up, so to speak. And I'm not going to use this pen for the whole thing. I'm just going to use it for part of it. Since it is a brush pen, I have to have control over where the lines go. So I'm going to pause and ink so you can see what it looks like when it's done. But I will say that the inking part of the video or the section is a good time to kind of, fix up any lines that you want to fix up if you don't like anything, right? It's a good time to kind of go over things. So I am going to pause, and then when I come back, it's going to be fully inked. Okay, so here you can see that I have completed inking. When I look at it, it's not completely the same. And I noticed like, oh, this little bump over here could be changed a little bit, or maybe I didn't trace it right. But you'll notice that, you know what, that's okay because it's mine and it has characteristics. So now I'm ready to color in, which you can do at home. I do want to say a couple of things. Thank you so much for drawing with me. I hope you had fun. I've been asked to do Winnie the Pooh about 1,000 times, so I'm happy to finally get it done. But please, if you liked today's video, take a look at my website, futurepicassos.com. I have free classes to the first 250 signups every Saturday on Zoom. They're live. You can also go to info@futurepicassos.com and you can send me an email. I take suggestions. I do try to draw from only suggestions. This is my YouTube channel. Please hit like and subscribe, and please tell your friends. I thank you so much for joining me, and I look to see you next time.